Hey besties, welcome in. I'm Sabrina. For those of you who don't know me yet, this is Sabrina Reads and Roams, and today we're going to talk about my November TBR, which is going to look a little bit different from most TBRs that you've seen here before, because I would just love to vibe read. I think it's technically called mood reading, but I'm going to call it vibe reading. I want it to be vibey, as my sister-in-law would say. I was thinking back and looking back, and I realized that I'm getting like really obsessive with my TBRs, which, full disclosure, that is my personality, to just be completely obsessive about something. But I also try to balance that by just like taking a step back, taking a breath every now and then, once it gets like so ramped up where I'm like so locked in, like I'm constantly updating my TBR spreadsheet that I have, like, oh my God, I have to do that. So I just want to cool it. Like, I think that it would be healthy to cool it for just a minute, just for a minute. So for the month of November, I'm just gonna vibe read. I've got my TBR cart here, which has lots of like fall, autumnal mood reads available on it. So like some of the things that I want to get to in the month of November. The Spell Shop, cozy, yes, I want to get to that. I think I absolutely need to get to the Pumpkin Spice Cafe. I think we can all agree that One Dark Window is like an absolute atmospheric must for November. I've also got, if I want to do a chunkier read, I've got Ordinary Monsters, which I've been wanting to read for quite some time. So, I mean, I have lots of options here on the cart. There's a bunch up here too. I just didn't pull them off the shelf, but there are a lot of books that I could read that are on my seasonal TBR cart. Like, what did I not pull from the back? Oh, hello, Pumpkin Spice and Everything Nice, the $5 Barnes & Noble Infamous book. I think I also have Spark of the Everflame on here. And, oh, you know what? Here's one that I super want to read. One for My Enemy by Olivia Blake. So there are lots of options on this cart for mood reading. Oh, hold on. I forgot like the best one here. Fall I Want. Gotta read that, right? So there's so many options here of things to read in November. I'm just gonna walk by this cart and grab whatever I want whenever I want. But there are a couple of things that I have to be aware of. So the first is that I need to read a new release every month in order to complete the hardest reading challenge you'll ever do prompts. And so the new release that I'm going to read, or that I'm planning to read, is the new Adrienne Young, Fallen City. Oh, I can't wait to read that. So I want to get my hands on that. I think it comes out on November 4th. So that's going to be my new release that I want to read. And I also am planning to do the 24-hour reading challenge on the day after Thanksgiving. So Black Friday here in the United States. I want to do the 24-hour reading challenge then, because I think that it'll be the perfect time to just eat leftovers. Nobody's getting up and doing anything on that day anyway. So it feels like a good time to lounge about and read. And for that, I have a stack of books that I think will lend themselves well to a 24-hour reading challenge. They're all on the shorter side. So I'm not a super fast reader, and there's no way I'm going to get through this entire stack of books in 24 hours, because first of all, your girl's going to go to sleep. I'm not going to stay up for 24 hours to do it. The way that challenge works is you just start whenever you wake up, and then when you're ready to go to bed, you click it off. Like, that's it. And however much you got read in whatever amount of time, however many hours you're awake, that's what you get. I will say that I am usually awake for a good 18 hours during a given day. You are allowed to take naps. That is allowed by Cordy, so the creator of the challenge. So you might catch me snoozing after a big hearty leftovers lunch, but we'll see how that works out. But this is the stack of books that I pulled out for that. So should we walk through them really quickly? I have the Mobius book by Catherine Lacey. This is a book that starts on both sides. If you know what a Mobius strip is, it's a book that is like that. It's intriguing. And I will say that none of these books are over like 225 pages. So Mobius strip is one. I've got The Color of Magic by Terry Pratchett. I've not read any Terry Pratchett books before, so I picked this one up because it felt like a good place to start. Drink Water and Mind Your Business, a Black woman's guide to unlearning the BS and healing your self-esteem. Now, I don't necessarily have self-esteem problems, but the book felt like it would be a really good read for a nonfiction, and so I picked it up. So yeah. This Is How You Lose a Time War. It's been on my shelf forever. It seems like a good time to try to fit that in. Fight Club, because I've not read or seen Fight Club. And I picked it up because it was a shorty and it felt like it would fit really well in the hrcyed challenge for adaptations, where I could watch the movie, as I've never seen it before and I only vaguely know what it's about. So Tilt. I picked this up out of a little free library. I think it's time that I read it and then put it back in one. And this is actually the ARC copy of it. So in a similar vein, I've got the ARC of I Hear You're Rich. Super short. In fact, I think I want to start with that one. A classic, Metamorphosis. Never read this before. Very creepy. I don't know. I'm not huge into creepy, but we'll see. This one is on the calculation of volume 1. So I don't know anything about this, but it looked interesting. So when I see books on the shelf, cover looks interesting, I read the synopsis on the back and I'm still interested, I pretty much buy it at that point. I read it and it sounded interesting at the time. I have completely forgotten what it's about since then, but I promise you I was interested in it when I bought it. So there's that one. And then if that's not enough, or if that hasn't tickled my fancy the way that I want it to, I also have Horror Store by Grady Hendrix. And this one, it looks longer than I think it really is. So it's 243 pages, but if you look at the pages, the words don't take up the whole book. And they're pretty large, and there are pages that are like full on just photos. So this is the one that basically the book itself is like a copy of the IKEA handbook. That's not what that's called. The IKEA catalog. And then I guess it's a horror story that takes place in what is essentially IKEA. I don't think it's called IKEA in the book, but oh yeah, it's called Orsk. But this is IKEA, you guys. This is IKEA horror. And I think that's hysterical because I freaking love IKEA. Hello? So those are the options that I've picked out for the 24-hour readathon. I will also have something, whatever I'm already in the middle of, on my Kindle at the time, because I got to keep my Kindle streak alive. So I'll also read a little bit of that at least, or if I'm like towards the end, I'll try to finish it, whatever. We'll see how I'm at. We'll see where I'm at when the time comes with whatever Kindle book I'm in the middle of. So I'm thinking about going ahead and doing, well, I know for sure that I want to read the next one in the Prison Healer series. I don't know what it's called, but I want to read that one next. So I'm going to read that in November as a Kindle Unlimited pick so that I can keep my streak alive. So maybe I'll be in the middle of that come the day after Thanksgiving, and we'll just continue with that one. So that's that. Now, the other thing that I want to do really quickly is I would like to choose 2 prompts from the hrcyed prompt jar because I want to try to keep myself on pace. Now, she's still pretty full. And truth be told, a lot of these don't need to be in here anymore because, like I said, you can double up books. I have been reading books for other challenges that have counted in hrcyed. So a lot of these don't need to be in here anymore, but I still feel like I'm like lagging behind. And I want to just do a little bit more in hrcyed before the year comes to an end. I make zero promises about what's going to happen in the month of December because your girl's planning on maxing and relaxing in December. So I'm like, am I going to read 2 books in December and that's it? So I would like to try to get 2 more prompts out of here. But here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pull 2 prompts out of here, but instead of picking the books that they're going to go toward, when I am vibe reading throughout the month of November, I want to pick out a book that will fit those prompts, these 2 prompts. And if I can't find one on the autumnal TBR cart, I can move it over to the shelves behind me, or I might just find it on Kindle to read. So let's just figure out what those 2 prompts are going to be, and we'll circle back to that at the end of November. I'll also say that the thing that I want to do, I think, instead of having a big monthly wrap up for November, don't hold me to this because I don't know how well I can commit to this, but what I would like to do is read from like Saturday to Friday, and then every Saturday I will post a quick, like maybe 10 minutes or less video wrap up of what I read that week. Like a video here. And I don't, maybe I'll make it a short, but I don't think I will. I think it'll make it a regular video. So don't hold me to that though, because I don't know what I'm doing, y'all. I don't know what I'm doing. I am just living day by day. Okay, trying to balance Instagram and YouTube and ignoring everybody that's like, you should be on TikTok. I don't have the capacity for that. So anyway, let's see what our first prompt shall be, shall we? Oh, this is my make a quote challenge, and it's the word I. So my quote is from What Little I Read. So I have to read books that have every single one of these words in them. And so this is the word I. Good luck, best friend. I don't know if I'm gonna find that on this shelf, but anyway, cool. That sounds great. Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna find that on this cart, but that's okay. That's okay, whatever. We'll figure it out as we go. It's gonna be cool. Okay, friends, listen. In a not so smart moment, I completely forgot that I have already completed the challenge for the word I in my quote from What Little I Read. I filled it with the book I Think I Was Murdered months ago. So off camera, I pulled another prompt because it's like a totally different day right now. And I pulled out it's the word from What Little I Read. Now, I debated filming this clip because the book that I want to read, or the book that I'm going to read for this, it's like a nonfiction. It's something that I am reading for therapy purposes. And I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, including my own. I'm not going to read the full title of this, but the title says How to Heal from Distant, Rejecting, or Self-Involved, blah, 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 blah. So that is the book, the therapy book that I'm going to be reading. It's gonna be work, and I don't want to not count this. I don't want to not count this as a book that I'm reading, so I'm gonna read it. But not to be cryptic, but it's not even that. I don't want anybody like reading into what I'm reading for therapy. Like, don't start trying to draw conclusions. So that's the book that I'm gonna be reading for the word from this prompt. So I can't believe I did that. We're at the point now where I've forgotten that I've already done parts of prompts. So anyway, that's that. I'm gonna send you back to the regular video. All right. What do we got here? Let's see. Oh, I got a BIPOC author. Okay, I can live with that. So those are the two that I'm gonna try to make happen from the autumn TBR cart. If not, I'll pull it off my regular shelves. It'll be fine. And yeah, those are my November plans. Short and sweet, I think. So let me know down in the comments what your November plans are. If you're gonna like take it easy on yourself because of the holidays and everything going on, or if you're planning on going like balls to the walls and trying to like get this year ended very, very fast and very fortuitously. Is that, that's not a word, is it? Fortuitous? No. Okay, moving on. We'll just pretend that that's a word, and if it is, what I'm trying to say is with a lot of books read to meet like a reading challenge or anything like that. So let me know what your November plans are for reading, and let me know if you want me to spoil any of the books that I talked about for you, because I'll definitely do that. I'll do a let me spoil that for you video. Anyway, if you made it this far, thank you for hanging out with me. This is probably one of my shortest TBR videos I've ever made. So I appreciate you watching it all the way to the end. Leave me a little comment down below. If you don't want to comment, if you don't want to chit chat, just leave me some freaking emojis. Is there a turkey emoji? Leave me a turkey emoji or a napping emoji because you're gonna nap your way through Thanksgiving. and I'll just give you a little heart. I won't even reply. I won't try to engage you in conversation if you're feeling shy, but comments are appreciated. So thank you for hanging out with me, and I will see you in the very next video.